My name is Weslie Negron, bass player from the band Moths, and you're listening to the Brutally Delicious podcast.
Thanks for joining us. I appreciate it. I'm Bruce. That's my partner, Chris.
For sure.
I have a terrible delay.
Nice to meet you guys. I'm Wesley, bass player.
Oh, you're a bass player. I didn't know by the picture that you signed on with.
Oh.
No, just joking.
Hey, so
I have a different picture, actually. It's weird. I have to check that. But
Don't worry. My picture's from I have a real estate picture. Mine is from 10 years ago. And I'm like, hello. I don't even look like that anymore. I don't even have any hair anymore, but in my picture I do. But
all
there
right,
we go.
cool.
hey, so let me start here. Why do you think bass players don't get the respect they deserve in most bands?
Honestly, I don't know. I mean, I personally have always looked after, Steve Harris, for example, is one of the bass, he has respect, so I can actually, I try to emulate that a little bit as well. I don't know. To be honest, I don't know. I just think the regular people just don't realize how important the bass is in a band until you actually point it out. And other musicians in the band just like to pick on bass players. However, if there's not a bass player, they will probably feel lost. So,
Right.
Yeah. We just did an interview and someone said, our drummer is also a musician. he really understands music as well. And I was just like, oh my God, so bad.
That is horrible. Yeah. I mean, in our case, records and mixes us. And he also plays in 700 other bands, like any other drummer out there. And he also plays bass and sings in other bands. So
I actually have a theory about drummers, at the same time. And they also play in multiple bands at the same time. So which one is it? Do they like to cheat, or is it just an extension of how many bands they're in?
I just think that, since they're drummers and they have to divide their brain in different pieces, it's probably the same thing. That attention span has to be focused on many things at the same time. So,
they're sort of like polyamorous.
that may be it.
I better not get your drummer in trouble.
No, he's fine. He's fine.
So I pointed out the truth.
No, not at all. He's in a lot of bands. He has just one relationship, but he's in many bands, which are really good bands. And also, in more of a serious note, he's very creative. So
is he also a musician?
It gives him he's definitely a musician for sure.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So on our sheet here, it says you have a complete audio visual experience. What does this mean? Describe it.
For sure. So basically, as you can see, this artwork that I have behind me, it's basically, it's the cover artwork for our latest album, Space Force. And this band, Moths, we've always been really intricate and very, we tried to put across and get that, joined together of artwork and music. We want to represent our music visually as well. Particularly because, not only because we think that, ever since heavy metal started, you had bands like going back again to Iron Maiden and Metallica and all these big bands that were really big into the imagery of their records. But also the fact that, we're in 2022, the music industry and people, the way they consume music is more, through the eyes. The first thing that they see is what's going to grab their attention. It's not necessarily the music as the first thing that they pointing that out. Now, once we get that attention, we want to make sure that they also get to have that, sit down, one of the songs in the album. Plus, we have a visualizer for the complete album as well. So it's basically that, sit down, chill, smoke a joint, or have a beer or wine and just listen as you were seeing, the whole artwork moving and interacting with you. So hopefully that's the reaction that we get, and that's what we mean with the whole audiovisual experience for sure.
What's the music scene like in Puerto Rico?
It's pretty good. It's pretty good. I have hired to talk about that in the last 2 months. I could say that I've been involved in the metal scene over here since 2010 with my previous band. And I would dare to say that since my involvement in the scene, I would say that from 2012 until like maybe 2016, 17, it was really, really good. Then Hurricane Maria hit us,
Yeah.
and that devastated the whole island. We still struggling with some of the stuff that left. Like we don't have steady power.
What?
Hopefully,
Really?
yeah. Hopefully that that won't happen as we were doing this interview because it's super random. Yeah. We still like I don't know actually yesterday it went out for like a few minutes. I had a dentist appointment yesterday. I couldn't make it because they didn't have power. And these are things that we're constantly
What?
living with. Yeah.
But you're lucky. Imagine
So
if
wait.
in the middle of
I thought
drilling.
What was that? I'm sorry.
Imagine if they were in the middle of drilling your tooth and they went out. So you kind of are lucky, right?
Yeah. I was thinking about that as yesterday. Like, how did they manage with whoever they were, attending at the time?
so. I'm not trying to get political in any way, but this kind of reaffirms that Puerto Rico needs to be a state. But anyways,
That's a little bit of a controversial topic. I don't think that we should be a state, but yes, that's a completely different thing.
Okay, that's cool. I'll agree with you because I don't live there.
Yeah.
So, but like, why do you not have consistent power yet? That was like 4 years ago.
Yeah, about 5 years ago. I mean, it's a whole political thing. Right now, we are dealing with this company called Luma, which is basically the power is a private company. We used to have a public company taking care of. They sold it, and the service has been like the actual cost of the service has been going up, but the service has been getting worse every time. Like last month, I live by myself. I don't have an AC, and I haven't really changed my ways of consumption of electricity in my apartment, and I had to pay $100.
Wow.
At the beginning of the year, I was paying $40. So it's just insane, and all these things have definitely affected not only the scene and have also affected the whole process of recording this record because we had to recording sessions had to be delayed or rehearsals like we couldn't rehearse because the studio didn't have any power or we also had some instances where we couldn't play shows because some of the venues did not have power so these are things that considering all the stuff that has happened obviously and on top of that you add the pandemic considering down here has been very resilient and it happened in the past 2-3 months the scene is getting back to where it was from 2012 to 2016.
Oh, cool.
We had a few shows in July where in 2 days just local bands 2 days we had about 800 people coming over to these shows.
Oh, nice.
Which is awesome. And we had our release show last week where we had about 150 people. Everyone had fun, and it's definitely happening. There's a show happening tonight. There's shows happening every weekend, and like one of the things, I personally have toured with my other band. I toured around the United States, not to throw shit at anyone, but I do think that the quality of metal that's happening here in Puerto Rico, it's really, really, really good. Very competes really well with everything that's happening in the mainland. And honestly, I think bands over here just know that they need to be ready. And so, it's worth checking out for sure.
I think too, I can't even think about the adversity that must have come from nation and then trying to rebuild your life, but also rebuild it with music in mind. Like that's got to be a real exercise in physical strength too, but mostly mental. Like, how do music is the only thing that you want to do because, like, holy fuck, but yet, you need shelter.
I always say this. I always say that living in Puerto Rico is basically extreme sports because we have to constantly be enduring all these things and all these, you know, it it's it's this constant, Um, but I can say that I feel that for example right now
Yeah.
what's happening with the album, more proud about it because we're doing it from here rather than trying to move from to the states and kind of like move it there, which is very attractive. And honestly, it's probably the smartest thing to do, right, for the stuff that we're doing. But at the same time, it also brings yeah, and for example, there are things that happen like as we were recovering from Maria, we got the artwork for our first EP done, and we're like, we already have the artwork, but we don't even have the record done. So it's like all these things. We just have to be very patient about it. And obviously, once the pandemic came, we got the masters for this album in 2021. We've just been getting ready ever since then to have a proper release and look at what would be the perfect timing to release it. And it seems that right now it was the perfect time. So right now we're actually going to Argentina side of the United States and international show. So it's very exciting. We're gonna headline a fest called Heresy Fest, and then we have a few local shows happening from October all the way to the end of the year. We want to go to the United States in hopefully the beginning of summer next year. We're working on that. Hopefully we'll have something happening. But yes, we were there. We did a short 4-run shows tour in 2019. We had a lot of fun. A lot of people came. A lot of people reacted positively to the stuff that we were doing. So we would like to do a little bit more of an extended tour next year.
Cool. Bruce, are you there?
So, yeah, I'm here. I'm having kind of weird delays going on, but I know you said you're going to be touring. Are you guys writing new material as well? Like, have you been taking advantage of the pandemic and all that downtime to write, or how does that work for you?
Well, we are going to make an official announcement about this in a few weeks. But yes, our next record is pretty much done.
Oh,
so,
nice.
Yeah,
Whoa. You heard it here first, folks.
Yeah, I'm actually, I got to say that I'm very proud of what we did with Space Force as far as the music goes. Like, probably I've released, this is my eighth record.
Wow.
And this is probably the record that I'm the most proud of, not only because of the music, but the whole concept and everything that's happening. However, the new music that we're making, I'm even more excited about it. So I think if anyone out there really enjoys or has heard Space Force and they enjoyed Space Force, I think they're probably gonna like the next stuff even more.
Nice.
Oh, dude, that's awesome. I have one question. You said sit back and smoke a joint. And I was like, okay, I get that.
Not recreational, but medical,
okay,
yes.
Perfect. I have migraines.
Yeah, and I also suffer from migraines.
Right. Wow,
but honestly,
have migraines.
I mean, after the pandemic, we have all these things happening. But yeah, I think, I don't want to be a poster child and say drugs and enjoy this album, because that's not what I want to do. But I think it will definitely enhance the whole experience, and if you go and watch the visualizer for the whole album, it's it's a little bit of a psychedelic trip. So if you're into that, I would definitely not encourage you, but if you want to go and have some sort of cool experience, press play to that video for sure.
Right.
Nice. Just flirting around the edge there. Just like,
yeah.
But migraines are a real thing, right?
I don't have anything else, Bruce.
No, I have nothing else.
Oh, yeah. They are, yeah.
Yeah.
I have nothing else. I hope that wasn't too bad. I know I've had a little bit of a delay here, so I've kind of laid back and let Chris take the lead. But
perfect. Thank you so much, my friend. And I hope you get power. I hope power stays on for you all the time from here on out.
I hope so too.
2000.
I hope so too.
All
All right, guys. Let me know when once you get it up, so I can make sure to share it on socials. Okay?
You got
Oh,
it.
yeah,
Bruce will
absolutely.
send it. Bruce will send it out.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Have a
Thank
good
you,
day.
guys.
Take care.
You as well. Take
Bye.
care. Bye bye.
Hello out there. Yes, hello out there, everyone. I'm Hal Schwartz.
And I'm Flynn McLean. Together we host None But the Brave, a podcast dedicated to the music and career of Bruce Springsteen.
Bruce and E Street Band are on tour right now for the first time in 6 years, and we're taking a detailed look at what's happening on stage in our bi-weekly episodes.
We've also been recently joined by some very exciting guests, including rock journalist Warren Zanes and Stephen Hayden, Backstreet's Magazine founder Charles Cross, and Barstool's Kirk Minahan.
If you're a diehard Springsteen fan, this is the show for you.
So please subscribe to None But the Brave on your favorite podcasting platform, and we hope to see you further on up the road.
Thank you so much. We'll be seeing you.